Aloha boys and girls, my name is Landon, and today we're going to be going over the Season 1 Playoffs Recap, basically how the event was, what the placings were, what my favorite things about the tournament were, maybe I'll give my MVP at the end, as well as, kind of go over what happened, and maybe even kind of judge how the event was as well. It was a really good event overall. Just going to get started with that. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I would really have them work on is maybe the lighting in the entire arena. It's kind of hard to see the players at times, and whenever they try to show players and whatnot, it was really hard to see them. Like, you couldn't tell who it was at certain points in time. And maybe for me, I would have a little bit different style of an analysis desk. To be honest, what they would do is they would have commentators who weren't commentating at the time of the major game and just put them in the analysis desk. I like to have people dedicated maybe to the analysis desk, like they're focusing on analysis solely. Like, that's their whole point of being at the tournament, is to do that. Maybe someone like Rambo is someone who I think of, or maybe Drifter. I think Drifter would be awesome for that as well. Just something like that. Maybe even Sender. I know Sender was on the analysis desk a little bit too, but I know he'll be playing. But I like that idea of having players in the analysis desk as well. Obviously, no one really knows the game better than they do. So that was the only thing for me. Lighting and that as well. Besides that, it was a great tournament. There was 8 teams. I'll be kind of going over the placings and the prize money as well. It was actually held at the MLG arena. Like, they actually have that station there for MLG COD events only. And, besides that, it was really great. They had $75,000 prize pool. It was awesome. I really enjoyed that. They had every team, actually, it had every single game on main stage, which I love as well. They had really good planning and scheduling and whatnot. Everything was basically timed perfect, to be honest. Players were going to bed at good times, and, I wasn't staying up till 12 o'clock to watch an update and kind of go over stuff that happened. So that was good, too. But let's go and get into the prize money. Like I said, there was over $75,000. First place would get $30,000. Second would get $15,000. 13, $10,000. Fourth, $6,000. Fifth through sixth would get $4,000, and seventh through eighth would get $3,000. Pretty good payout overall. With 8 teams, this was the playoffs as well, so there were a couple teams that actually weren't allowed to come. It was just the top 8 teams. So we're going to go over the placing. So 7th through 8th came Prophecy and Rise Nation. Honestly, just didn't have very good events. You can't really blame Prof just for the fact that they haven't been playing together. For champs anyway, Legal and Fears will be playing on center with Perplexed and Vexed. And Ricky and Bose will be playing with Prof, and their 2 teammates will be Classic and Mochilla. So, they haven't been playing together. They haven't really practiced together. So I can't really blame that on them. Rise honestly just didn't have a good event. Pac-Man honestly didn't show up very much. And Chino had pretty good moments. Sender didn't really impress me a whole lot. I think Sender's a really great player. I would have loved to see him do a little bit better there as well. And Diabolic played pretty consistently, except for a couple maps. So overall, they just couldn't handle the sliding power of a lot of these teams as well. And I think they actually lost to Optic first game, and I believe they lost to FaZe as well. So both of those teams placed top 4. So I mean, you can't really blame them for that, but heading into champs, that's not what you want to see. Especially, and they actually won't be playing with Chino, Chino was actually their lead player in every single game. So that'll actually be Miyagi filling in for champs. So not good stuff from Rise. They need to maybe work on a couple things. And actually coming in 5th through 6th was Aware and Envy. Envy, man, they had some really good moments. They actually came out hot and actually beat Nile fairly easily. So I was really happy about that. I mean, happy in the fact that I thought that, Nile coming in as the 2nd seed and Envy coming as the 7th seed. I thought that was a really good moment for them. They ended up losing to a really, really close series, TK versus Envy, guys. That was an absolute insane series. The uplink on comeback was absolutely insane. Looney went huge and ended up making Envy eliminated. Actually, they went to the loser bracket and then later lost to FaZe the next day. So, Envy had a good moments, but overall just couldn't get it done whenever they needed to. I think Envy could have made it pretty far had they beaten FaZe, but they weren't able to as well. Overall, Aware had a pretty good event. They started off beating FaZe 3-1, which is absolutely not crazy based on the seedings and stuff. Aware has some really good players in Hook and TJ Halley and whatnot. Really good, overall players. Beat FaZe first day, lost to Optic, and then later lost to Nile. In a really close series as well that also went to 3-2. I think they might have gone to round 11. I'm not actually sure, but Replays, I'm pretty sure, came out very clutch and helped them secure that spot to beat Aware. So coming in 4th was FaZe. FaZe, honestly, they had a pretty good event. They lost actually to Aware. Were able to beat Envy and then later to lose to Nile 3-1. Nile was just ready. FaZe had lost a fairly close game between Nile and them, but overall, Aches didn't have a very good event. I think, honestly, for me, Slasher could have been the MVP of this tournament had his team placed higher. Slasher was doing everything. And Abel had some good moments, as well as Parasite did very well in the S&D. Slasher had an absolute amazing event. Aches, honestly, to me, had not his best event by any means. Probably one of his worst events he's ever had. And, you know, I actually had them in the top 2. I had them going against Optic in the finals and losing. But, you know, they actually kind of messed up my bracket. I had them going pretty far, and they ended up losing. So, sad for FaZe, but, you know, they got to pick it up. You know, Aches has to pick it up as well. Slasher brought his A game, so I was really happy about Slasher doing well. So they actually placed 4th. Coming in 3rd was TK. TK had some really, really good moments in this entire tournament. They had some really, really close series. Like I said, with Envy, they went 3-2, beat them in the S&D fairly easily after that comeback. Insane game. The comeback uplink game was one of the best uplink games I've ever seen in my entire life. They little played Optic, and they almost beat Optic. Came down to a round 11, game 5, round 11. Absolutely insane series. Optic was able to take that off of them, and they honestly just lost a lot of that momentum whenever they later played Nile. And Nile beat them 3-0. You know, to be honest, whenever you lose to a team, round 11, game 5, it just takes so much momentum from you, and I think that's how they lost so easily to Nile. So obviously, if Nile beat TK, then that means Nile also came in 2nd place. Great stuff from Nile. I saw JCap go off constantly in all the S&Ds. Glacier dropped 16 kills. I think he went like 16-4 in an S&D. Attach had some good moments, as well as replays dominated and some of the S&D play as well. Overall, great job from Nile. I didn't really think that they would beat Optic, and in the finals, they did lose to Optic 3-0. However, if Nile was able to take that first best-of-5 series, they would have had to play another one. And playing Optic twice, playing Optic once is a big deal. So even having to beat them twice would be a huge feat. Obviously, Optic beat them 3-0. Optic had a really good event as well. You know, they beat Rise, Aware, and they had a really close series with TK, like I said, and later played Nile. So I think they went 12-3 throughout the entire event. That's an awesome, you know, stat, or not really an awesome stat, but it's an awesome job that they did, only losing 3 maps the entire, you know, 4 games that they played. So that was a really good job from them. Optic, like I said, obviously your first place winners. Nadeshot did very, very well in a lot of the S&Ds. I think first day he was actually top 5 in slang, so obviously after one game he did fairly well against everyone else. Scump had a huge day. Actually, the last day I think he had a huge day. Scump played very, very consistent in the last couple days as well. Crim6 had some good moments. Crim6 to me maybe didn't do his best, but he could do a lot better. He knows that, and he obviously turned it up a little bit heading into the final day as well. Formal did very well. I think Formal to me was probably the MVP of this team. Maybe I wouldn't say the entire tournament, because I think Scump and Formal maybe tied for the MVP spot. And I think Formal had maybe, I think in one game, I might have been against Aware, I think Formal had 36 kills in like 3 minutes or 4 or 5 minutes, something crazy like that. Formal was absolutely dominating and had a great event as well. So overall, my MVPs of this tournament heading from each team would probably be Scump and Formal from Optic. Obviously, they won first. Scump, obviously, very consistent player, as well as Formal. For the Nile, it'd probably be Clay for me. I think Clay had an amazing event. Clay absolutely dominated. I think he was like in top KDs as well as S&D KDs. So Clay obviously deserves that spot for MVP. For TK, for me, it'd probably actually be Theory. Not saying that Theory did not do well, but it might be Theory and Looney, actually. Looney did very well as, also, so Theory had some really good moments in S&D. He obviously had a really high KD in S&D as well. And Looney, honestly, he helped them win. He clutched up and helped that team go as far as they did. So probably for TK to be Looney in Theory. For FaZe, obviously Slasher, no question about it. Slasher dominated in every single game type. He was the reason that they placed in the top 4. For Aware, to me, it'd probably be Accuracy, actually. Hugh had some good moments as well. You know, Happy and TJ Halley had some good moments, but Accuracy held them together. I noticed whenever they would play, Accuracy would always be communicating. I know that's not the most popular thing to say, that Hook didn't get the MVP, but I think overall Accuracy had a really good event, had some really good numbers as well, just weren't able to hold it versus the teams that they played. For Envy, I'm not actually sure. I saw them play a couple times. To be honest, they didn't have the best event, like I said. I think honestly, you can't really pick an MVP from Envy, but if I had to, I'd probably pick maybe Merc. I saw Merc in the top KDs, or the top, you know, the leaderboard for his team a lot of the time. Merc, obviously one of the best communicators in the game, so I'd probably give it to Merc. From Prof, I would give it to Imbos. Imbos had a great event slang-wise. They lost. They were actually one of the first teams to get out. Lost both their games as well. Imbos had some really good moments. I think Imbos is a really, really good Slayer in this game. I'm not just saying that because he's my favorite player, but Imbos had a really good event, dominated in slaying as well. Legal had some really good moments as well. I'd probably put Imbos just slightly above Legal, but Legal had some absolutely dirty kills in this entire event, had some really good moments as well. So probably Imbos for me from Prophecy. And heading into Rise, I'd probably say Chino. Chino, I think he led every single leaderboard of every single game that Rise played, so definitely give that to Chino. It's going to suck for Rise whenever they're not going to be able to play with him for regionals as well as champs, because Miyagi will actually be filling in for him. So Rise, the other 3 players are going to have to pick it up. They're going to have to pick up for his slack, and maybe Miyagi will be the X factor that they're going to need. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was a little bit long, but I really appreciate you guys for watching and whatnot. I really had a good time watching this event. It was absolutely insane. Not next weekend, but the weekend after that will actually be regionals for North America, so that's going to be awesome as well. We're going to see a lot of these teams playing a little bit different. They're not all going to be on the same team. They're actually going to have a lot of different teams heading into that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. I watched every single event, or every single game, every single series of this entire event. I loved it. I love competitive Call of Duty. I'm going to keep watching it and keep updating you guys. More videos to come soon. I apologize for not having a whole lot of content up recently. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you guys have given me. You guys are absolutely insane. You guys make me stutter my words and whatnot. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys later. Peace out.